Hello everyone, welcome to today's story. The rain had been falling since dawn, a soft, rhythmic sorrow tapping against the windows of Green Life Company. The city outside blurred behind a veil of silver mist, and inside, time seemed to slow. Every clock tick echoing the weight of something about to change. Lytuna walked through the main corridor, heels quiet against the polished floor. Her reflection wavered on the glass walls, half confident, half uncertain. Once, she had stood here as someone who loved Alex, not as the woman now entrusted to protect everything he had built. On the mahogany desk, a photograph waited, two people smiling in a gentler time. The coffee scent lingered, faint but familiar, like a ghost of warmth that refused to fade. She touched the frame, her breath trembling. Outside, thunder murmured, as if the sky itself was holding its breath. Something in her heart whispered, "This place remembers." And so, she stepped into the office, ready to begin again, yet haunted by what once was. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The truth is just beginning to unfold. Rain dripped down the tall windows like time refusing to let go. Lytuna stood behind Alex's desk. The world of numbers and signatures spread before her. Reports, budgets, contracts, all whispering the same silent question. Can she really carry this weight? Alex's voice from that morning still echoed within her. "I trust you. There's no one better to protect what we've built." That trust felt like both a gift and a test. As she sorted through the reports, her eyes froze on one set of documents. Figures didn't add up, subtle but deliberate. The more she turned the pages, the more she saw traces of manipulation. Altered accounts, missing invoices, and emails erased. It wasn't carelessness, it was concealment. Behind her, footsteps approached. A faint perfume, sharp, familiar. "Mrs. Lytuna," said a voice smooth as glass. "I didn't expect to see you back here." Lytuna turned. Lon stood there, elegant and poised, the same quiet arrogance that once shadowed the office halls. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. "The new director, Alex must have been generous." Lytuna closed the report softly, refusing to be drawn in. "We all serve the company, Lan, and will continue to, with integrity." Lan laughed, low, bitter, beautiful. "Oh, integrity," she said, walking closer. "Such a fragile thing in a place built on loyalty and affection." That word hung heavy, trembling between them. For a moment, Lytuna could almost hear her own pulse. The rain thickened, drumming like a warning. She thought of Alex, of nights he came home late, eyes tired, phone silent. She had never asked, she had simply trusted. But now, every silence, every shadow seemed to echo Lan's laughter. Lytuna took a breath, steady but cold. "Whatever happened before," she said quietly, "ends today." Lan tilted her head. "Oh, and who decides that?" Lytuna met her gaze. "I do." The air tightened. The hum of the rain seemed to vanish. Two women stood in the same space, one clinging to what once was, the other daring to begin anew. Outside, lightning flashed, painting their faces in silver. Inside, something broke. Not in anger, but in realization. The battle ahead would not be loud. It would be fought through silence, signatures, and the weight of truth. For the first time, Lytuna understood. Strength wasn't noise. It was the courage to stay when everything inside you wanted to run. The clock struck 10. The rain outside softened, falling like faint memories. Inside, silence stretched, the kind that comes before a confession. Lytuna stood by the window, fingers tracing the cold glass, when Lan's voice pierced the quiet. "So, this is what power feels like," Lan said, her tone dipped in venom. "Alex must be proud, his little secretary, now a queen." Lytuna didn't turn. "This isn't about power," she replied softly. "It's about respect, something you've forgotten." Lan stepped closer, the click of her heels sharp and steady. "You think he chose you because of merit? He chose you because you were easy to control." The words cut deep, but Lytuna's eyes didn't waver. She turned slowly, her calm more dangerous than anger. "I used to believe that too," she whispered, "but not anymore." She placed a folder on the desk, its contents spilling like broken trust. Falsified contracts, bank statements, deleted emails. Proof. Lan's smile faltered. You don't understand." Lytuna's voice cut through the air, steady and low. "I understand enough to protect what he built, even if it means protecting him from you." Lan's breath quickened. For a fleeting second, Lytuna saw fear behind her arrogance, the collapse of a carefully curated mask. "You can't do this to me," Lan said, voice trembling. "Yes," Lytuna replied, "I can." Outside, thunder rolled, distant yet heavy, like the closing of a chapter. Lan left without another word. The door clicked softly, and with it, the last echo of a past Lytuna no longer wished to carry. When the storm finally broke, Alex returned. The light in his eyes dimmed when he learned what had happened. "You fired her," he said, disbelief lacing every word. Lytuna nodded. "I did." He crossed his arms. "Without consulting me?" "I couldn't wait," she said, her voice trembling but sure. She crossed every line, Alex, personal and professional. "I did what needed to be done." Their silence burned more than anger could. Alex's gaze softened, guilt flickered beneath his calm. "I never meant to hurt you," he said quietly. Lytuna looked down, her voice a whisper of rain. "I know, but intentions don't erase the damage." The air thickened with unspoken truths, the distance between them, the years of trust and silence. Then Alex stepped closer, took her hand. "Maybe," he said, "I needed you to remind me what matters." She looked at him, eyes tired but bright. "You didn't need reminding, Alex, just honesty." And for a brief, fragile moment, the storm lifted, and at that moment, everything changed. Night had already fallen when Alex's phone rang. The voice on the other end was cold, precise, and paternal. "Mr. Brown." "Alex," his father said, "I heard that girl fired Lan. What kind of authority did you give her to make such decisions?" Alex's throat tightened. He stared out the window, the city gleaming beneath the rain. "I gave her authority because I trust her." A short, bitter laugh came through the receiver. "Trust? In a woman with no name, no power, no family, she'll ruin you." The words sank deep, not because Alex believed them, but because he had once feared them. The echo of expectation, the weight of legacy. "Father," he said quietly, "you don't see her the way I do. She's honest. She saved this company. Don't confuse love with naivety," Mr. Brown snapped. "She doesn't belong in our world." Silence expanded, heavy and thick. Alex's reflection in the glass looked almost like a stranger, a man torn between the child his father raised and the man he was trying to become. At last, he whispered, "If protecting her means losing your approval, then so be it." The line went dead, and for the first time in years, Alex felt free. He stood there long after the call ended, the sound of rain easing into stillness. Then the door opened softly. Lytuna entered, hesitant, uncertain. "Everything all right?" she asked. He turned toward her, a tired smile curving his lips. "I don't know," he admitted, "but for once I think I did the right thing." She stepped closer, her hand trembling as it found his. There was no triumph in her touch, only tenderness, the quiet understanding of two people who had fought separate storms and finally met in the calm that followed. They stood by the window, watching the lights flicker across wet streets. "Yes," she whispered, "we lost something tonight. The approval of a father, the comfort of power. But we gained something greater," Alex said, eyes softening. "The freedom to be honest, to love without fear." The clock ticked. Outside, the last raindrops fell from the roof like blessings. Inside, Lytuna leaned against him, her heartbeat steady, her spirit at peace. For the first time since she returned, she felt the air was clean again. The guilt had faded, replaced by quiet strength. She was no longer the woman who doubted her worth beside him. She was the one who stood beside him, equal, unafraid. Dawn began to break, slow and golden. Light spilled across the office floor, wrapping them both in warmth. The world outside didn't know of their battle, but perhaps it didn't need to. Sometimes victory isn't loud. It's simply the silence that follows a choice made from the heart. Morning came quietly, like a promise whispered after a storm. The first rays of sunlight filtered through the wide windows of Green Life Company, tracing soft gold across the papers scattered on Alex's desk. The world outside had moved on. Cars passed, the city breathed, but inside, time still lingered, tender and unhurried. Lytuna stood by the window, her hair catching the light. She had not slept much. The night had been long, filled with tears, silence, and fragile laughter. Yet, as she looked at the horizon, she felt strangely calm. Behind her, Alex stirred from the couch. His voice, still hoarse from the weight of yesterday, broke the quiet. "Was it worth it?" he asked softly. Lytuna turned, her eyes meeting his. There was no hesitation, only clarity. "Yes," she whispered, "because now we finally understand what we were fighting for." He smiled faintly, tired but genuine, the kind of smile born not from joy but from truth. They stood together as sunlight poured in, erasing the last trace of the storm. In that golden silence, there were no grand gestures, just the rhythm of two hearts learning to beat in the same direction again. Outside, the wind rustled the branches of the old oak tree that had stood by the building since the company's founding. Its leaves glistened with dew, shimmering like forgiveness. Alex walked closer, resting a hand on the window pane. "My father won't forgive me easily," he said. Lytuna's voice was soft, almost a whisper. "Forgiveness isn't something we wait for, Alex. It's something we live through." He looked at her then, really looked, and for the first time, saw not the woman he had hurt, but the woman who had saved him. Not by submission, but by truth. As the day unfolded, the office slowly filled with life again. Footsteps, phones, laughter. Yet, amid the ordinary noise, there was a peace that hadn't been there before. Tuna sat at the desk, her desk now, and opened a fresh folder. The company's future was uncertain, but her resolve wasn't. Alex lingered at the door, watching her for a moment before saying, "You've changed everything." She smiled gently. "No," she replied, "I just stopped pretending it couldn't." Outside, the sky opened wider, the clouds drifting apart like curtains revealing a new scene. Sometimes love isn't the fire that consumes. It's the quiet warmth that remains after everything else has burned away. And as Tuna closed her eyes for a moment, breathing in the soft scent of morning coffee, she knew. Love hadn't ended here. It had simply changed shape.
Giữa cơn mưa rơi trên trần tòa nhà Greenlight, Lytuna trở lại với vai trò thư ký kiêm nhiệm giám đốc toàn quyền, vị trí Alex tin tưởng giao phó, nhưng quyền lực phải đối mặt với Lan, người từng gần gũi Alex, để lại về những vết thương im lặng khi sự thật, hợp đồng giả, báo cáo bị chỉnh sửa, lòng tin bị phản bội. Lytuna buộc phải lựa chọn tha thứ hay bảo vệ, quyết định sa thải Lan, đối đầu với Alex và cha anh, nhưng giữa dòng đó họ tìm thấy sâu sắc hơn tình yêu và ý nghĩa, xây dựng tập thể bình minh. Hôm sau họ mỉm cười tự do dù còn tổn thương.